Hey, all you pilgrims on the Ascension journey. All right. Hey, today, I want you guys hopefully consider recognizing all the different photonic energy waves. This last 3 days or so, on the spectrograms, you can check and see all the different, it's almost like, I call it chicken scratching. It's a lower frequencies or lower in the Schumann resonances of, not past like 20 hertz or so. And it's kind of like real across the board, like every day. And those lower frequencies through my meditations are more for purging old traumas and stuff. They're not the big long past 40 hertz, 40 hertz to 100 hertz on the spectrograms, and where it's more of like a blissful photonic energy that comes into your field, your biofield physiology, into your biological body. You can feel it. If you're in tune with this now, if you're in tune with this ascension process, and you've been kind of, detoxing your biological body every day and stuff like that. Anyways, and you're bringing your abilities back online, your intuition, your empathic abilities, your psychic abilities. Anyhow, enough said about that. I just want you guys to hopefully consider recognizing that all energy is conscious energy, and all these different photonic waves and energies are for different things, okay? Not all of them are real super blissful, obviously. And I've had a cold too. Like, I kind of have like this sinus cold going on, and a constant headache about 2 days prior, and now all the way through. I'm still, maybe I'll throw up the chart here and I'll show you, throw up the spectrogram anyways. Or anyhow, okay, let's read from Alchemical Wizard, the new blog on 3decrees.org. Travis Carper, Ascension Health Coach. I want to read Alchemical 27, Applied Mindful Asking. So let's get into some kind of like a mental exercise here, a mindful mental exercise for the mind, body, and spirit, holistic. So let's get into a little bit of the kind of more of a spiritual psychology, or a psychology. Okay, let's just get into it. You know me, I'll get off on tangents. Okay, let us discuss strategies for making more successful requests to our multi-dimensional selves. How do we ask the universe, fluidic fractal, different names here, fluidic fractal space-time continuum, or the cosmic consciousness, or your higher vibrational self, for that electric car that travels more than 300 miles on a full charge, for an amazing twin flame partnership, for an abundant business that aligns with our passions, or that back burner humanitarian project that's been waiting to take real world shape, or just a simple answer to a question. How can we ask in a mindful and authentic way before visual imagination becomes manifested? Excuse me. Asking is often the only way to access the opportunities and multiple resources that can change our own lives and others towards a much better outcome. Asking our guides, asking our angels, asking our benevolent space family, whatever, whatever you're into. Like, if you're into, anyways, Native Americans, the animal guides, whatever you're into, okay? Ask source itself, ask yourself, ask your higher self. You're asking, and be specific. We're going to get into it. Be specific. And what I do is I even ask, like, if it's a specific question, let's say it's an alchemical or a nutritional thing, maybe like Merlin, I don't know, comes to mind, So be specific in the spiritual realms, like, because you are connected to everything. You are a multi-dimensional light being, which means you are God, you are source, you are divine, you are just a unit in having this human experience. So you can ask You can actually tell the universe, tell yourself, you can ask yourself, and the specific pieces that are very qualified to answer those specific questions. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's so diverse. The multiverse is I mean, it's so diverse. We've already talked about the snowflake thing, where every snowflake ever that's fallen to Earth has been crystallized differently, divinity differently, the diversity of the multiverse. Somebody's got a power mower on or something. Sorry. Okay, so let's move on. So be specific. Asking is often, oh, I already got that. Okay, this can be the same as asking our bosses for a raise when we believe we're worth it. So inside, you got to believe, that you can find the answer. Go within. Meditation, of course, out in nature with shoes off is probably one of the best things. I mean, that's why you see all the pictures of all the masters and stuff. People, because the circadian rhythm of the Gaia, right? When you're meditating outside, is probably the best way to find the answers that are right there. It's you. You're just asking yourself, really. Okay, we're going to get into it. This is not an egotistical thing. This is a self-empowerment thought process, because we know that after asking the expert in that request's field, we are really asking ourselves. And then we can start taking baby steps towards what we want to see happen in the 3D, 4D matrices. I know this can be hard because of so much Pavlovian social conditioning and belief systems that have been put into place. The law, talked about that a lot. The law of attraction or the law of coherence can go a long way in applying a mindful asking approach to our requests on a much larger scale. That scale being a service to others scale, when we are being more consciously aware of our desires. Everything is connected, okay? So, 1, let us rise above our own resistance for being judged. Consider that we are the only ones judging. Let's get to the very core of our desire and be the judge of what our heart tells us. Okay, so 2, settling for less than what we want tends to create patterns of resentment and frustration. Okay, so don't settle. Okay. Okay, 3, mindful asking builds intimacy, especially when you're in meditation, because you're really talking to your higher self. You can really get into that, okay? Mindful asking builds intimacy. Let's think of our requests as a means of deepening our relationship with our guides, higher vibrational self, source, or etc. It is not an obligation or an order, but a cyclical transmission of authentic desires and wants. This is a symbiotic relationship. You're utilizing this avatar and you're in this projection, this very dense, which they call the 3D, 4D matrix, right? You're in this very dense projection. You're utilizing this, but you're connected to everything. You're connected to 12 dimensions or beyond that, right? And the multiverse. It's just that we've been suppressed and we're not using and opening up our glands enough and getting healthy to open up our pineal and our pituitary and our thalamus and all these glands that talk to each other and open up perceptions of that higher vibrational frequencies, right? That's basically what you're doing. You're sitting, you're meditating, and you're talking to your higher vibrational self, okay? And you can specifically ask the questions to the experts because you're connected to that. You are that, okay? So ask the question to the specific expert, right? We're talking about like in meditation, or you can, look for it in the book or across the world too. I mean, a realistic in this time, right? In this linear time in the 3D world, right? But in meditation, you can go further, right? You can really get that intuition and go, oh, Okay, and the answer, I'll read about it, but the answer can come in many forms, okay? We're getting that. Consider what process brought us to the moment of asking. Was it a sudden insight? Was it a period of reflection? Or that aching, emerging sense of what would really work best for all involved? Intuition, okay? 5, see a bigger picture and the pond's ripple effect when we not only ask internally, but in writing and spoken out loud, or even posted in this postmodern age. Pun. Okay, let's see where I was. Okay, let's see, I read 5. Got a little distracted, that guy with the gasoline blower. Anyways, yep. See a bigger picture and the pond's ripple effect when we not only ask internally, but in writing and spoken out loud, or even posted in this postmodern age. Okay, so say it out loud too, and then yeah, and write it down in a journal if you can too, because that's like another gives it a little bit more kick, a little bit more oomph. That's kind of a Willy Wonka thing. Okay, so 6, making a manifest board or dream board can tell the universal matrix precisely what your intentions are. So I usually put up in writing, I make the circle mapped out thing on a manifest board, and then take the pictures out of magazines or whatever and put them up and put together a manifest board and stick it up to where you meditate or exercise, or when you wake up in the morning. It's good in your room, okay, where you can see it. And then you're basically telling, the universe what specifically you want, or what questions you want to have answered too. Okay, so 7, regard this pre-manifested request as inherently valuable and clarifying. If this request or desire is aligned with one's mission, and passion in life, it can lead into a momentum that can produce opportunities for all. 8, when asking for something, set a very clear and detailed intention, and then let go of the outcome. Yeah, let go of the outcome. Because opportunities and doorways open sometimes in alternative ways. The request will be answered one way or another. So as the old saying goes, be careful of what you wish for, or mindful of what you wish for, and very, very clear. Okay? All right? Because it'll come true. Plus the answer will come too. So you kind of got to look for that. So 9, practice making small requests and try to recognize all the different responses. Then build upon those baby steps. And patience can be a way to exercise this mental approach. So ask a smaller question, let's say. I've done this before, several times, but in different ways too. But I've asked the question before in a meditation, and maybe 3 days later, boom, there was the perfect book and answer to that question. It comes in all different forms. A person, it could be a visual, it could be a book, it could be a blog, it could be in your own mind's eye, in a thought that comes into your awareness. Okay, so, and 10, here we are. Remember that just clearly asking moves us into the direction of our desired outcomes. Okay, so we've read that one, and we're down in Southern Oregon again, of course. Yeah, a lot. And look for the workshops. There's a couple of them coming up. I'll leave the link down below in the description box, which I have been lately. Excellent. And everyone, blessings everyone, and of course, stay hydrated with structured water during this process. There's going to be some bigger waves, some bigger things going on around the world right now that are hidden. And by next spring, there should be some waves. So stay holistically healthy. Get your mind, body, and spirit in shape for these higher frequencies that we're moving into, okay, for this ascension process, this shift, this awakening, okay? All right, consider.